Welcome to the final episode of this series on the Learning League. We've covered mindset and honest diagnosis. Now let's talk about what separates businesses that survive from those that don't. The willingness to pivot. I'm going to give it to you straight. Loyalty to a failing strategy is not integrity, it's ego. And ego kills businesses faster than any recession. Remember Polaroid? As digital photography took over in the late 90s, their executives insisted people wanted hard copy photos. They ignored the massive change staring them in the face, refused to consider any other business model, and eventually filed for bankruptcy in 2001. A once great company destroyed by leaders who wouldn't adapt. Now, let's turn our attention to Yelp. They started as a platform for getting recommendations from friends, but couldn't get traction despite $1 million in funding. However, they noticed people loved writing reviews of local businesses, so they pivoted. The rest is history. The difference isn't intelligence or resources, it's flexibility. The willingness to let go of what you thought your business should be and embrace what it needs to become. During the COVID pandemic, Anheuser-Busch made hand sanitizer. Hanes produced medical masks. Ford built ventilators. These weren't desperate moves. They were strategic pivots that met the moment. What moment are you refusing to meet? When I made the decision to leave corporate America as a single mother, I didn't know I was starting a global learning movement. I just knew the old way wasn't working. What began as one woman working from a kitchen table became Learn to Engage, an S-Corp with over 50 contractors and 20 partners around the world. That happened because I stayed flexible. I listened to what clients actually needed instead of insisting on what I thought they should want. Here are the real pivot options. Utilize new sales channels. Segment your customers to focus on the 20% driving 80% of your revenue. Focus on your most popular feature. Change your revenue model. Adopt new technology. The point isn't which pivot you choose. The point is being willing to choose one. Winston Churchill told Britain to never give in during their darkest days. That attitude kept them afloat against incredible odds. But Churchill also adapted constantly. He didn't cling to failing strategies out of pride. He adjusted, pivoted, and persisted. That's what real leadership looks like. Not stubborn repetition of what worked before. It's strategic flexibility combined with relentless persistence. So here's your final challenge. Now this one requires a bit of courage. Identify one thing in your business you've been unwilling to change. Maybe it's a product that isn't selling, or a team structure that isn't working, or even a belief about who your customer is. Write it down. Then write down 3 ways you could pivot if you were willing to let go of how things have always been done. Now, you don't have to act on it tomorrow, but you do have to be honest about it today, because this is the truth nobody wants to hear. You ready? Hope is not a strategy. Action is. The businesses that survive aren't the ones who wait for things to get better. They're the ones who make things better, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it requires admitting they were wrong. Thank you so much for joining me in this series. If it challenged you, good. Share it with another leader who needs to hear it. I'm Cheryl Powell, reminding you that transformation happens one leader at a time, and sometimes that transformation starts with being willing to see what you've been avoiding. So keep leading, keep learning, and don't be afraid to pivot.